Manny.
It's another week, another challenge. Can you talk about sort of what Virginia Tech, Josh Jackson, what they bring to the table, how tough it's going to be for your defense to stop the run?
Yeah, that is where it all begins with them. You know, you got to match the tempo. You got to match all the motions. You got to match all the eye deception. A lot of misdirection in their offense, and then almost similar to a Georgia Tech theory that, you know, if you get so geared up in the run and your eyes go to the wrong place, that's where they hit you in the passing game. If you look at their yards per pass attempt, they're one of the top teams in the country. So when they're completing passes, or when they're attempting passes, they're getting them in chunks. So it's a game where everybody has to be where they're supposed to be and have their eyes dialed into the right spot.
And different personnel in some spots, but is the offense at all different than last year?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the personnel, I think like any good coaches, they're doing a great job of utilizing the personnel of what they have. Last year they had some unique guys. The quarterback is a different guy, but we have a lot of respect for the quarterback. You can tell he's very heady, well trained, coach's son, which, you know, you can see all those things on film.
This is a game where you could use a physical corner like Delaney. Can he get a lot of reps now, do you think? Is he back? Because I know when you're injured, it's tough to get back to really being able to play 50, 60 reps.
Yeah, we had him last week as sort of, if needed. He was available to play last week. We didn't want to just sort of throw him in there. So, yeah, we'll roll him in. We'll roll all of our guys in the back end. And you know, because everybody's got a role to play in this game.
Is the challenge for this front, you know, the defensive line this week to just dominate, take it over, you know, be the force that kind of wins the game for you guys?
Yeah, but I would suspect that they would feel that that's what their challenge is every week. You know, I mean, any great defense starts with your front play, but there's no doubt that you have to be relentless. You know, they're gonna continue to ask questions of your front, and they got to keep coming up with the answers. And so, you know, I think our guys are excited about that challenge, to be honest.
Manny, you look at the fact that they're so great in the red zone and the goal line stand against North Carolina. How do you kind of get some of that to spill over a little bit so that they're not maybe always with their backs up against the wall?
Spill over,
yeah,
like it has
the defensive performance. How do you translate some of that just to not getting them?
To not have them in the red zone? Well, we can just let them score from long ways away, right?
Right.
You know, I'm gonna push back on that a little bit. You know, there's only one team. Toledo's the only team that's had more than 5 yards of play on us. We had 17 possessions of defense last week. And the normal game is 13. We played 5 quarters of football. We 3 out of them or less 8 out of 17 times. Our kids aren't perfect, but they're playing pretty damn good. And by all the metrics, there's a couple things that we'd love to do better. You know, our third down defense started poorly. It's been improving. Our run defense is suffering from a couple mistakes. People are starting to run their quarterback against us, which to me is a sign of respect that you're shutting down the running back. But if you look at where we are and what we're doing and and the fact that what it all comes down to is that we're not allowing points because we don't give up long runs or passes for touchdowns, and then we have the mental toughness to stop people in the red zone. We never have panic, and that's why when the ball was fumbled last week and 11 guys had to take the field, that we knew we walked out there like, yeah, we're going to go get the ball back. We didn't know how, we didn't know who, but we knew we were going to get it done. So, like anything else, I think we always have room to grow. We hope that our best game is always our next game, but I think our kids are playing pretty hard right now.
When you look at Virginia Tech, I mean, obviously you're watching their offensive side of the ball. What is it that they do well defensively? Because they're so good. What you study them or look at what they do.
They're so aggressive. They're going to put a bunch of people right by the line of scrimmage and make it, you know, almost, and they're going to make it very hard for you to run the football just by sheer volume of numbers of humans that they've devoted to stop it, and then at the same time they're going to deny everything in the throwing game. So what's easy to do, like what any defense would want to do, what's easy to do, they do a good job of taking away, and they force you to try to beat them in low percentage type plays. And they've been doing it a long time. They've been recruiting to that system for a long time. But Foster's obviously as good as they come as defensive coordinators.
That attitude you're talking about, where you just know you're going to get the ball back, is that a season-long thing? Did some of it start last season? Did you just have to see it through a few games? When can you pinpoint?
Yeah, I think you grow into that as a season. I don't think you can predict that as a coach. And I've said this before. I think the strange dynamic of this year, you know, missing the game, spending a week in Orlando. I think this team was forced into some resiliency, and I think that's why we play well in the red zone. I think that's something that is kind of ingrained into us now, where there's not panic. and guys just want to go out there and just do their job and persevere, and I think that makes you good at winning. There's one thing we're excellent at. We're excellent at winning. Now we're playing a team that's excellent at winning as well. You know what I mean? Because, and I mean that, light of that, I mean, some teams are good at losing. And we've not been good at losing. The things it takes to win football games, we've been pretty good at creating those things. And another thing we're doing is we're creating turnovers, which we bemoaned not doing a year ago.
What type of advantage could Hard Rock Stadium be for you guys since that?
Well, I'm going to say this. There was a time that when you came to Miami and you found out that the game was at night, that you knew that your chances of victory were very low because the city brought it. And the Orange Bowl, Hard Rock now with the roof, it's been fantastic all year. That place can get spooky now, and that's what we need on Saturday night. I think it can really be a big time advantage. They have not played a lot of road games, and I don't think they've played in a road game. They have a great environment there. It was hard on us to play up there a year ago, and we need to return the favor to them this year.
Manny, was there a memory of yours that you remember going to a game at night? Just a memorable night game you remember?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many. I guess the '88 Florida State game was a season opener. I think 31-0. Place was just electric that night. That's the one that jumps into mind. Some of those Notre Dame games that night, the place was just, and the thing about that, even like last year when Florida State comes, they're going to bring their group, right? So but I remember, even the Oklahoma games in the past, not necessarily a night game, but when you're playing a team that is going to bring fewer fans than when Florida State or Florida come back here historically, and it's really all about our people in the stadium. So yeah, one of those environments would be fantastic.
Next 2 weeks.
Thanks.
All right, thank you all.
Thanks.